There are megaprojects under construction right now that our descendants will marvel at for centuries to come. And we're about to see what those megaprojects are. From Rwanda's new city of innovation to India's first high-speed rail. On this episode of Built a Billion, join us as we uncover 10 more of the most incredible megaprojects under construction right now. And stay till the end of the video to see the new luxurious project in Cyprus that's being labeled the City of Dreams. Furmanbuilt Tunnel. One of Europe's largest construction sites, the $8.2 billion Furmanbuilt Tunnel is being built between Denmark and Germany on the island of Lolland. Once completed, it will be the world's largest immersed tunnel and the fastest route between Scandinavia and Central Europe. The tunnel will be 42 meters wide and 9 meters tall and be made of 79 217-meter-long elements. The first step in construction is the large-scale work harbor and tunnel factory, where it takes 9 weeks to produce one element of a tunnel. The elements of the tunnels will weigh over 73,000 tons and contain 2 tubes for the motorway, 2 for the railway, and a service passage. The tunnels will be immersed in a 12-meter deep tunnel trench dredged deep into the seabed. The tunnel element will then be towed into position on the Furmanbuilt and lowered onto the seabed. The elements are then connected and the water is pumped out, which ensures a watertight connection. Then, a protective layer of stone will be laid on the tunnel, and over time, sand will completely cover it. Once finished, trains will be able to cross in 7 minutes and cars in 10. The world's largest immersed tunnel will be ready in 2029. Kigali Innovation City. The country of Rwanda in Africa has come a long way from its bloody past, and in fact is creating a hub for the most brilliant minds in Africa to collaborate, and it's called Kigali Innovation City. KIC is a flagship project by the government of Rwanda to transform the country into a Pan-African innovation hub while facilitating the development of Pan-African talent. The KIC is being co-developed through Africa 50 and the government of Rwanda, and inhabitants of the city will be innovating in machine learning, blockchain, data integration, artificial intelligence, and more. The first part of the developer's plan was to cultivate institutions for talent to thrive and create infrastructure. Next, developers have their sights on attracting big companies like Microsoft and Google to come be a part of the community within the next few years. Western Sydney Airport. One of Australia's most expensive megaprojects of all time, the Western Sydney Airport has hopes of boosting economic activity and providing employment for people in the Western Sydney region. For decades, there was talk of building a second airport for Sydney, and in 1986, the government announced Badgerys Creek as the location for a future airport. But it wasn't until 30 years later when the airport's plan would be finalized by the Australian government. After a series of land acquisitions, the Western Sydney Airport now sits on a site of 1,780 hectares, 44 kilometers west of Sydney. The project will be divided into phases, and Phase 1 will see the building of a 3.7-kilometer runway, terminal, parking lots, and taxiways. A second runway will be built in the second phase, along with a passenger terminal with a floor area of 90,000 square meters. This terminal will house entertainment venues, dining and retail space, and landscaped gardens. Future phases will include more improvements all the way up until 2050. When it's all said and done, the Sydney economy is expected to grow from around $15 billion to $25.6 billion as a result of this airport, and 28,000 jobs will have been created for the local population. After a couple of delays, construction is moving along, and today, the project has an estimated completion date of 2026. Mumbai to Ahmedabad high-speed rail. India and Japan are collaborating on India's first high-speed rail that will connect the city of Mumbai to Ahmedabad. The National High-Speed Rail Corporation Limited is building the project with 81% of it being funded by Japan. The first step of the project was the creation of a training institute where 4,000 officials were trained on the technology. Currently, bridges are being constructed, creating over 20,000 jobs. The rail track will cross mountains, oceans, and cities boosting development and economic activity for more than 50 million citizens. The Japanese-style high-speed train will run at 320 kilometers per hour and will reduce the trip from Mumbai to Ahmedabad from 8 hours to just 2 hours. The journey to build this high-speed rail started back in 2017, but the people of India might have an even longer wait ahead of them. The project has missed its 2023 Phase 1 deadline by a long shot, and it has now been pushed back to 2026. These delays were due to land acquisition issues and the pandemic. Hinkley Point C. Hinkley Point C is one of Europe's biggest and most complex projects under construction right now, and will be a 2-unit 3200 MWE EPR nuclear power station in Somerset, England. The scale of the project is absolutely enormous, which is made apparent by the over 1 million cubic meters of concrete that has been used so far to build the Hinkley Point C reactor. It's the first nuclear power station to be built in the UK in over 20 years, and once completed, this plant will produce an astonishing 7% of the UK's electricity with low carbon emissions, will have created tens of thousands of jobs, and leave lasting benefits on the UK's economy. The project started construction in 2017 and is currently, however, almost 3 years behind schedule and 50% over budget, with a total budget of £32.7 billion. Hinkley Point C's expected commission date is in September of 2028. Cross River Rail. The current rail network in Queensland, Australia is near capacity, and Brisbane's rail service demand is expected to triple by 2036. The solution is the Cross River Rail, a multi-billion-dollar 10.2-kilometer rail line that will include 5.9 kilometers of twin tunnels below the Brisbane River in the city's business district. The project will also deliver 4 new underground stations and plenty of upgraded stations. The Cross River Rail will enable more trains to run more frequently while also integrating with new roads and bus services. The project is estimated to create 7,700 jobs across southeast Queensland. The train will use the European Train Control System, or ETCS. It's an advanced signaling system that relays continuous info between the train and the central management system in order to regulate every train's speeds for maximum safety and efficiency. It also provides passengers with more accurate train schedules in real time. The project is set for the first train to start running in 2024. Thames Tideway Tunnel. The River Thames runs right through the city of London, but there's a problem. The combined sewer system collects sewage not only from the toilets, but from rainwater runoff as well, and the system was built for 2 million people. London now has 10 million people, so you probably see the problem here. The sewer system doesn't have the capacity for this and frequently overflows into the river, dumping 40 million tons of untreated sewage into the River Thames every year. This is obviously detrimental to the environment and, quite frankly, disgusting. Enter the Thames Tideway Tunnel project to save one of the world's greatest cities from this environmental tragedy. The project is seeing a 25-kilometer super sewer tunnel being built to intercept that sewage overflow and clean up the river for good. The tunnel will run from the west of the city, go through the river, and end up in a sewage treatment plant at Beckton. Lots of employment opportunities have been created for the project, and the carbon footprint of the project was reduced 35% during planning. This fascinating megaproject will connect London back with its river and has an estimated completion date of 2025. Before we move on to the top 3 on our list, if you're enjoying this content and love to hear about all the mega projects of the world, please subscribe to the channel and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. It'll really help the channel out. Now back to the video. Gwadar Port Expansion. The Gwadar Port was developed in 2002, but in 2013, China invested heavily into the expansion of the Gwadar Port to the tune of $1 billion. The port is a key part in China's Belt and Road Initiative, its master plan to become the economic center of the world. Gwadar is situated at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East, making it a strategic hub for trade. And with the development of the Gwadar Port, China can gain quicker access to the Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean, and reduce its dependency on the Malacca Strait that is plagued with piracy and congestion. The project also allows a military benefit for China, allowing its ships to operate in the Indian Ocean. The details of the Gwadar port expansion include a road and rail network that was created to connect the port and other parts of Pakistan and China. Development has also included the construction of a new airport, an oil refinery, and more. The project is expected to create economic opportunities, strengthen regional trade, and bring social benefits to the local community. LAX Airport. Los Angeles International Airport is undergoing one of the largest public work programs in California history. The LAX Airport is one of the world's busiest, but also one of the most infamous for passenger experience and terrible traffic congestion. Included in a $14 billion upgrade, each terminal will be updated. The Tom Bradley International Terminal, for instance, will add 18 new gates and 116,000 square meters of space. In addition, an 11-gate concourse alongside Terminal 1 and a new 12-gate terminal, Terminal 9, are underway and will be operational by 2028. But it's the congestion around the airport that is the biggest nightmare for all travelers. The automated people mover at the LAX Airport is looking to transform how passengers navigate to and around its site. The automated people mover train will connect to the metro and get travelers to and from their terminal quickly and safely, while reducing emissions and alleviating traffic congestion. So far, the first train's cars have arrived, and the 2.25-mile-long guideway has been completed. City of Dreams Mediterranean. City of Dreams Mediterranean, set to open in Cyprus in Q2 of 2023, is the first integrated resort in Europe. Located on a 36.7-hectare site, it's one of the largest development projects in Cyprus's history and is expected to radically change its tourism and hospitality sectors. The exterior design is heavily Mediterranean influenced, but inside will be Europe's most impressive casino, luxury rooms and suites, fine dining, and more luxurious amenities. The resort will be located minutes away from the city of Limassol and feature a total of 500 rooms, all with private balconies with immaculate views that overlook the Akrotiri Salt Lake, a mountain range, and Lady Miles Beach. But the main draw to the Dreams will be its 7,500 square meter casino, complete with table games, a poker area, slot machines, and even private entertainment. The project design is inspired by the native landscape, and in order to incorporate the resort into the landscape, 130,000 trees and indigenous plants will be planted around the project. Not only this, but the project won an award for the amount of sustainability incorporated into its design. After all, there's nothing like gambling in a sustainable environment. Which of these insane mega projects are you most looking forward to? Which one would you visit? Let me know in the comments below. I have videos on more mega projects under construction, and that should be on the screen. So click that video on the screen to watch something you haven't seen. And thanks for visiting Built a Billion.